Not every smile means safety. Some people wear familiar faces while carrying something dark inside, an energy that slowly eats away at your peace. Over time, the truth shows itself, not always in cruel words, but in the tone of their presence, the patterns of their behavior, and the way your whole being tightens when they enter the room. This isn't superstition. It's the quiet reality of spiritual harm hiding inside everyday relationships. You know the feeling. You arrive upbeat or neutral, spend time with someone, and leave drained, anxious, or oddly hollow. Conversations that should be mutual become one-way streams of drama, need, and emotional offloading. They take attention, time, and sympathy without ever refilling your cup. That chronic depletion isn't just emotional fatigue. It can be spiritual parasitism, something feeding on your light, even if the person doing it claims to be a friend or family. Watch the energy, not just the words. Do they consistently twist truth to divide you from others? Do they shoehorn themselves into your life as the center of crisis, then vanish once you've paid the cost? Do your instincts, that quiet, persistent alarm in your gut or soul, sound repeatedly around them? Don't rush to label yourself too sensitive. Your spirit is sending signals for a reason. These people don't always storm in with hostility. Often they're calm, charming, even loving on the surface. That's what makes it dangerous. The harm is disguised as care, dependence, or vulnerability. What matters is the aftermath of each encounter. Are you lighter or heavier, encouraged or exhausted, whole or hollow? If the answers skew toward depletion, take it seriously. You don't need to fix or argue with someone who saps you. You don't have to prove anything. Protecting your peace can be as simple and as powerful as stepping away. Boundaries are not cruelty. They're essential self-preservation. Your energy is a currency. Not everyone deserves access to it. Trust what your spirit knows, even when your mind wants to rationalize. Some relationships are merely toxic. Some are a deeper sort of sabotage that erodes your purpose and power. Recognize the pattern. Reclaim your energy. Walk toward restoration. Guard your peace. Your life depends on it. They rarely tell outright lies. That would be too obvious. Instead, they bend reality just enough to seed doubt and suspicion, half-truths, quotes ripped from context, and emotionally loaded stories that paint others in shadow while they pose as the worried friend or neutral observer. Their weapon is suggestion, little hints. I don't want to say anything, but... Or maybe you should watch them. Phrases engineered to crack your trust and pull you away from people who actually guard your spirit. As you drift, you become more dependent, more pliable, and far easier to manipulate. This is how the quiet sabotage works, not with open conflict but with subtle confusion. They stir tensions, provoke reactions, then step back and watch chaos unfold while pretending innocence. If they can fracture your foundation, your support, your clarity, your circle, they can reshape your reality. You begin doubting kind intentions, weighing rumors over facts, and adopting their story as your own. That pattern is spiritual warfare dressed as conversation. Worse, they often wear loyalty like armor. They'll comfort you at your lowest and celebrate your brokenness, but the moment you heal or grow confident, their tone shifts. Sarcasm, distance, resentment. Why? Because your strength collapses the role that made them feel important. They don't love the whole you. They love the dependent version that props up their ego. Recognize the pattern. Constant division with no resolution. Relentless fault-finding with no accountability. They're not protecting you, they're isolating you. Guard your mind. Protect your relationships. Don't mistake manufactured concern for true care. They love the version of you that doubts yourself, constantly seeks their approval, and stays emotionally indebted to them. But the moment you set boundaries, put yourself first, dream bigger, or step into your purpose, their true colors show. They'll mask jealousy as jokes, mocking your ambition, calling your progress a phase, or belittling your goals as unrealistic. Comments like, "Don't forget where you came from," aren't caring reminders. They're subtle commands to shrink back into the size they find convenient. Deep down, they don't want you to win unless they can profit from your fall. Watch how people respond to your healing, not your hurt. Whoever clings to your weakness more than your growth isn't a friend, they're a liability. Demonic influence doesn't always roar. Sometimes it comforts, rails against change, and treats your brokenness like security. Pity masquerading as loyalty is still control. Real love doesn't fear your strength, it fuels it. Boundaries expose those who never respected you. These people treat your no like a negotiation. You ask for space, and they crowd it. You say you're busy, and they demand your time. That's not miscommunication, it's entitlement. They act as if the rules don't apply to them because they're used to unlimited access to your life. When you finally stop permitting it, they respond with guilt trips, accusations of change, or passive aggression because your refusal strips away the role that made them feel powerful. Remember, you don't owe anyone constant availability, especially not those who trample your spirit to get what they want. Persistence without respect is a slow form of erosion, not forceful violence, but steady boundary breaking until you feel too worn down to resist. Hold your limits, protect your peace. Your refusal to be taken for granted is the clearest sign that you're choosing freedom over dependence. Your peace is sacred, your time is limited, and your presence is a privilege, not an entitlement. Treat your boundaries like the gates of your kingdom. Not everyone should be allowed inside. Those who try to batter them down are not friends. They're intruders. Stand watch. Some people don't attack openly. They copy you. They study your words, your laugh, your style, your ideas, then wear them like a mask. At first it feels like flattery. We're so alike, but imitation becomes theft when they adopt your voice to replace you. They echo your phrases, repost your thoughts, and slowly use that echo to rewrite how others see you. While you're puzzled by the mimicry, they whisper doubts to your circle, painting you as fake or unstable. That's not admiration, it's sabotage. They'll hold up the version of you they stole and claim to be the original, using your reflected light as fuel for their own image. This is identity theft with a spiritual aim, to dim you because they cannot shine on their own. When people who once supported you begin to drift or act suspicious, ask whether someone is weaponizing your likeness against you. Authenticity endures. Counterfeits unravel. They also bind you with guilt, not love or respect, but a leash made of obligation. When you pull back, heal, or set limits, they don't change. They weaponize gratitude and history. Remember all I did for you. Who will help me? That's manipulation. Protect your identity and your boundaries. Let your truth root you. In time, the imitation will reveal itself and your authenticity will outlast the counterfeit. Guard your gates. Your life and spirit depend on it. They weaponize your empathy with lines like, "So you're just going to leave me after everything I've done?" There's words designed to land on your softest spot and turn compassion into a chain. Guilt becomes the leash that keeps you trapped, convincing you that leaving equals betrayal, even when staying betrays your own well-being. Know this, guilt is not proof of love. It's a control tactic. People who profit from your silence will never thank you. They'll ask, "How could you?" and then use your sense of duty to siphon your energy until you're exhausted from carrying what was never yours to fix. They don't want healing or partnership. They want access and possession. Real love frees. It uplifts and empowers. It doesn't weaponize obligation. When someone treats your boundaries as negotiations and clings to your guilt to keep you compliant, that's emotional blackmail and spiritual abuse in disguise. The moment you see it, you have a choice. Remain in the prison made of your compassion or break free and reclaim your life. Pay attention to what your body tells you. Sometimes the warning comes as a sudden anxiety, a racing heart, a knot in your stomach, foggy thoughts when nothing obvious is happening. That's not paranoia, it's spiritual discernment. Even when they smile and sound harmless, their energy may unsettle your nervous system because something inside them is dark, chaotic, or draining. If every interaction leaves you smaller, confused, or less grounded, that's a signal, not weakness, but protection. Trust it. Guard your peace and refuse the guilt that keeps you chained. When that tightness rises in your chest, Don't hush it. Investigate. Who are you with when it starts? What shifts inside you when they speak, when they stand too close, when they linger in your space? Peace doesn't lie, and tension is a messenger. Sometimes anxiety isn't a flaw to be fixed, but a warning, your spirit saying, you're not safe here. When that voice speaks, listen. Protecting your peace is survival, not selfishness. Never apologize for stepping away from what your soul knows is wrong, even if nothing outwardly appears broken. Notice how they react to your pain and your progress. Some people seem warm when you're hurting, offering hollow sympathy, cruel jokes disguised as tough love, or a smirk that betrays delight in your suffering. Your brokenness comforts them because it keeps you small. But let healing come, let your light return, and watch them retreat. Suddenly they're distant, minimizing your wins, or recasting your growth as arrogance. You've changed, or don't let it go to your head. That withdrawal isn't concern, it's exposure. Your elevation reveals their stagnation, and they respond by trying to shrink you back into what made them feel superior. These aren't mere critics or fair-weather friends. They are spiritual adversaries disguised as familiar faces, comfortable only when you remain beneath them. They spectate when you cry and vanish when you rise, mourning not your freedom, but their loss of control. Pay attention to who applauds your healing and who disappears from your victories. Real love never laughs at your pain or resents your success. It stands beside your growth and fuels your courage. If someone consistently reacts to your healing with discomfort, resistance, or silent hostility, let them stay in the shadows. Your calling, your light, and your peace must not be negotiated for someone else's comfort. When truth, righteousness, or grace enters a room, some will bristle, not always with words, but with subtle rejection. That reaction alone is a clue. Protect your path, honor your recovery, and keep walking toward the life that reflects who you were made to be.